Hi guys, so it seems the Conservative Party believe the size of your flag demonstrates how much you love Britain and how much of a patriot you are. Now I want to show you this light-hearted exchange between Charlie State from the BBC and Robert Jenrick, who is the Housing Secretary, where Robert was called out on the size of his flag. Now this is a symptom of a bigger problem, this plastic patriotism, an attempt to convince the public that politicians are on their side when in reality they're not. But let's see this exchange.
Robert Jenrick, thank you. I think your flag is not up to standard size government interview measurements. I think it's just a little bit small, but that's your department, really. It's just a thought.
The picture of the Queen.
You'll be aware that every time we've seen it every day, haven't we? It's a stock.
Always a flag
thing, isn't it?
Always a flag. They had the picture of the Queen there as well, though.
Yes, he has a picture of the Queen and he has a huge flag behind him. But unfortunately, the flag is in the distance, so it seems small. This is a joke, okay? But there is a madness behind it, because the Conservative Party know that following Brexit, they have thrown the country under a bus. They have thrown people out of their jobs. They are not handling the economy very well at the moment. Almost 130,000 people are dead because of Boris Johnson's take it on the chin approach. So to distract, put a flag behind me, and then it demonstrates to the public that I care about the public. I care about Britain. Now, Robert Jenrick's idea of patriotism is a little bit different to mine, because I believe that you should actually criticize the country, because by criticizing it, you try to make it better. And of course, a nation is made up of people. So if you look after the people, in my eyes, you're being patriotic. But Robert Jenrick disagrees with me, because if we look at his voting record, it demonstrates that he disagrees with me. So one of us is patriotic, the other is not. I believe looking after the most vulnerable in society is patriotic. Robert Jenrick does not. So if we look at his voting record, generally voted for reducing housing benefit for social tenants deemed to have excess bedrooms, which Labour described as the bedroom tax. He voted against spending public money to create guaranteed jobs for young people who have spent a long time unemployed. So young people have been unemployed for a long time. Look, we can try and create jobs for them. He's against that. He doesn't want young people having better opportunities. Consistently voted against paying higher benefits over longer periods of time to those unable to work due to illness or disability. 8 votes against. So for me, looking after the most vulnerable in society, the ill and the disabled, is patriotic. Obviously, Robert disagrees with me on that. And he consistently voted for a reduction in spending on welfare benefits. 24 votes for reductions in welfare benefits. I think actually increasing welfare benefits. Actually, I believe in eliminating welfare completely and replacing it with a UBI. But I'm sure Robert would disagree with me on that, because that's unpatriotic in his eyes. You know, looking after the most vulnerable and the poor in society is unpatriotic. Putting a flag behind you and telling these poor people that he cares about you, that is patriotic. Anyway, let's continue. On social issues, we don't have a lot of information. We just have 2 votes that he's had. So this one was generally voted against laws to promote equality and human rights. This is another thing. Promoting human rights, in my eyes, is patriotic. Obviously, to Robert Jenrick, it's not patriotic. We should reduce human rights. That's patriotic in his eyes. Now, there's one possible silver lining here in all of this. He voted for allowing terminally ill people to be given assistance to end their lives. Now, I don't know if he actually voted this way because he voted with his conscience, or whether it was the party that decided, look, we're going to vote this way, and he went along with it. So I'm not going to criticize him on this. If we look at, for example, constitutional reform, he voted almost always voted against transferring more powers to the Scottish Parliament. Okay, so he doesn't like Scottish people. Well, Scottish people are not English, so maybe his patriotism is not British patriotism, but English patriotism. Almost always voted against transferring more powers to the Welsh Assembly. Once again, not Welsh patriotism, but maybe because Great Britain is made up of England, Scotland, and Wales. So if he doesn't want these people to have more freedoms, then I assume he's not pro-British, he's just pro-English. He voted against a wholly elected House of Lords, so he's not a big fan of democracy. Voted against removing hereditary peers from the House of Lords. Once again, not a big fan of democracy. Generally voted against more powers to local councils, so he doesn't want local people having more power either. So what sort of patriotism does he support? And once again, at the very bottom, it's a mixed bag, but almost always voted against lowering the voting age. So he had four votes against. So he wants younger people to be less engaged in politics. How has that patriotic? What here is patriotic? None of it in my eyes. But he has a flag behind him. See, this is part of a bigger problem. The politicians don't care about the public. They don't care about society. They don't care about businesses. They don't care about workers. They don't care about people's rights. They want to convince the public that they do. So they put a symbol behind them. You know, what greater symbol than the Union Jack and a portrait of the Queen? He doesn't care about the Queen. He doesn't care about Britain. He's demonstrated that. But he wants you to believe that he does. And it's interesting how he was called out here on the BBC about this. You know, this is just plastic patriotism. It's not real patriotism. It's a facade. It's an attempt to convince generally the poor and the working class, look, this guy's on your side. He's not on your side. He doesn't give a crap about you, and his voting record demonstrates that. I've said it on numerous occasions. We need to stop listening to what politicians say and look at how they vote. Stop looking at how they dress and look at how they vote. You know, he has his nice tie. He probably has his nice suit from, I don't know, maybe Armani or something, maybe more British. He has his flag behind him and he has his huge portrait of the Queen. This is to convince and trick the public into thinking that he's on their side. He isn't. He has never been on their side. And it's not just because he's a conservative. You know, you can be a good person. You can look at what's happening in society and say, I don't want poor people to suffer more. I don't want the disabled to be thrown under a bus. I don't want young people to go without employment opportunities. You can stand up and say, I'm a true patriot. I actually care about the people of this nation. I don't care about a piece of fabric or a portrait. I actually care about the people, because the people make the nation, not some ridiculous symbol. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?